Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Derek Afasi. I'm the owner of Afasi Financial Group and RetireSharp.com. Today's topic, I want to be discussing with you guys annuity advice and fully explain it. What might have happened is, you were sitting down with a financial advisor, an insurance agent, and they kept pitching you different sorts of annuities. And when you go and you look up your research, you might be seeing some really good things about annuities, some really bad things about annuities. So I wanted to do is create this video and kind of clear the air and say, okay, what exactly is good annuity advice? What is bad annuity advice? What exactly should you be mindful of when looking to purchase an annuity, and where exactly can an annuity really work for an individual situation? So typically the number one aspect of what an annuity, the benefits of an annuity, is for income. So when an individual is gearing up for retirement, they might say, okay, I have assets in my qualified retirement account, such as a 401k, such as IRAs that I've accumulated. I might have sold my house, I might have sold a business, whatever that is. I might have some non-qualified cash monies, and ultimately I have these lump sum dollar amounts, and I'm starting to come near where I don't want to work again. I don't want to work anymore. So how exactly can I properly take distributions from my current accounts to make sure that I'm never going to outlive these monies? And where, like, an example where an annuity could really be a benefit would be if, let's say, somebody has $50,000 worth of expenses in retirement, and they're only receiving, $30,000 of Social Security income, and they don't have a pension plan, and all their other monies are now, at risk towards speculation, towards variable accounts such as mutual funds, and you're subject to that downward market loss. What an individual could do is say, what is the smallest dollar amount that I could place into a guaranteed insurance contract, such as an annuity, that will produce me this extra $20,000 to live off of each and every year? So they could take assets from their 401k and roll that over into it's known as an IRA annuity. It's qualified to qualified. You could do an IRA to IRA transfer, and that would be, that would basically put them in the parameters of a qualified annuity, or they can use regular cash accounts, non-qualified accounts, to produce them this, $20,000 of income at that specific point in time. So that's a very simple example of how an annuity could be beneficial for somebody, rather than going the route of variable accounts and going that mutual fund route. When they say, okay, I have my IRA account that's currently tied to mutual funds. Well, the problem with that is typically individuals have to pay mutual fund related fees, advisor fees to monitor those mutual funds. They're still subject to downward market loss. And when this individual tries pulling out this money for income, that's the fourth negative. So you have compound interest of negative aspects that are going against this account. A simple example is, a lot of times wealth accumulation specialists, they try to talk about the average rates of return. And when it comes to retirement income, and I just cleared up the screen, when it comes to retirement income, you don't want to utilize the average rates of return. You want to see what your actual rate of return is. Because if I was showing you an average rate of return and I said, okay, your account's going to gain 50% the first year, and then your account's going to lose 50% the second year, the average of this account is going to be what? 0%. But what happened with your physical money? If somebody has $100,000 and they gained 50% the first year and then they lost 50% the second year, their actual rate of return would have been a minus 25%. So that's a drastic example, but understand that averages don't always mean that your account is truly gaining the value. It's just a play on words, and it's all about what is the actual rate of return. So if you have an example where somebody's paying 1% in mutual fund related fees, 1% in advisor fees, the market takes a 10% hit, and this individual is taking out 5% of their monies, and they had $100,000. Well, they would have taken out $5,000, and let's say that mutual fund fees were $1,000, advisor fee was $1,000, took a $10,000 hit, and you took out $5,000. This individual would have lost $17,000 worth of their value, 17%. So the next year, you're going to have to gain that much more just to break back to even. So with annuities, and a lot of the annuities that I like to deal with are on the fixed basis. It's just saying, if you're placing $1 in there, annuities are not the best thing since sliced bread. They're very good when you're looking at an income play, but if you're looking past an income play and you want to have some significant growth into your accounts, annuities, I think, are horrible products. But if you're looking for that safety, that peace of mind, that consistency, then yeah, it could definitely work out well. And what I mean by that is, what are the problems? What are the problems with typical annuity advice? Is you sit down with an agent, and you might have heard about annuities through the grapevine, and these agents are going to go and they're going to talk about how company XYZ is offering you a 10% bonus or a 7% guaranteed roll up, and all these different features of an annuity, when in actuality, that's just a whole smoke and mirrors approach that insurance companies are trying to do to explain what their calculation account is for that lifetime income. So what I mean by that is, if you have company A that's providing a 7% roll-up, or company B that's providing a 5% roll-up, you'd be looking at the situation and say, oh, 7% roll-up, this is definitely going to give me a higher guaranteed income when I hit age 65. And larger numbers do not always equal better results, because the way that these companies, and this is what I'm talking about, is a fixed index annuity with an income rider, many times these numbers are fluffed up so that the insurance companies could go and confuse the heck out of the client, confuse the heck out of even the agent, explain it the wrong way, try to make you look at these nice shiny objects of a premium bonus, of a nice roll-up, when in actuality, if you're placing a single dollar into a plan, what exactly is the cash flow? What is the exact percentage that you're going to be able to get back off of your original deposit? So if someone has $100,000 and they're placing it with company A, and this person's 60 years old and they want to trigger income at age 65, it's going to go by a combination of something known as their income base multiplied by their withdrawal rate percentage, which is going to equal their lifetime income. Company B could have a higher withdrawal rate percentage, might have a lower income base, but a higher withdrawal rate percentage, and provide you a higher cash flow, even though on the surface it looks like Company B is not going to be as attractive as Company A. So it's all about making sure that you're truly understanding what the annuity can do for your situation. If you're talking about your goals and the advisor just keeps telling you about company XYZ, company XYZ, company XYZ, well, he could probably only offer you company XYZ. When we deal on a national basis, we say, okay, it's going to be based upon your situation. If you have a 5-year deferral before you want to trigger retirement income, you're going to have a whole different slew of options than you would if you wanted to wait 7-year deferral. If you're 55 years old, you're going to have a whole slew of options as opposed to you being 53 years old. So just understand and really see through the BS that some of these annuity contracts are going to try to offer you, and don't get hung up on the bonus. Don't get hung up on the roll-up rate. Get hung up on if I'm placing a single dollar into these plans, what is the exact dollar amount that I should be receiving back in income so that I could suffice that goal. I could look at my retirement as a perfect puzzle piece to say, okay, I want to retire at age 65, and I have Social Security income that's coming to me. Just like that other example, $30. I have a gap. I'm going to have a gap of $20,000 at that point in time. I'm 55 years old right now. I have older qualified retirement accounts. I have regular non-qualified monies. I have $500,000 worth of accounts, worth of savings, worth of retirement savings that I was going to dip into to trigger that $20,000 goal. Let me clear off the screen real quick because I know it's getting a little messy. So the common mistake that somebody might make is say, okay, I'm just going to try to grow this money, throw it into variable accounts, and you run that risk of outliving your monies. Because if you're pulling money from an account that could potentially go down and then you're getting hit with fees constantly, that's that reverse dollar cost averaging aspect I spoke about. So you might be able to suffice this goal of saying, okay, to my $500,000 of savings, maybe all I need is $200,000 to place into an annuity contract that's going to guarantee me a 10-year deferred growth, be able to trigger exactly $20,000 of income to suffice that gap of my $50,000 of expenses, because obviously I'm receiving $30,000 of Social Security income, $20,000 of the annuity income, and now I have $300,000 that I could leverage as my fund money. So I can now be super aggressive with those monies if I want, because I have that little safety net that's sitting there off of the $200,000, that I leveraged back when I was 55 years old. The problem lies is that insurance agents and advisors, they'll go listen about a 10% bonus and a 7% roll-up rate and just automatically place their clients into that plan. Well, maybe that's company A, and that's going to require for this $20,000, maybe that's going to require $300,000, but yet the best company in your particular area, in your particular state, company B might only require a $200,000 deposit at age 55 to give you that same $20,000. So why would you waste $100,000 more dollars and place that into an annuity contract if you can accomplish that goal with only 200,000 and now have 300 extra thousand of liquid cash, of your fund monies, of, now the ultimate goal with any sort of retirement plan is cover your bases, make sure your income sources are covered, make sure you have an emergency fund covered, and then make sure that you're incorporating for inflationary expenses. If you could go and grow these other dollars properly and at this age 65 when you need that $50,000 and make sure that these other monies are growing at a substantial rate, or even at just a consistent rate, well, then you could take care of inflationary protection as well. So it's all about making sure that you're leveraging your chips the right way, you're setting it up with the best possible contractual guarantees. So the first really easy solution is to go with an independent agency as opposed to a captive agency. What I mean by that is if you're going to company XYZ, insurance company, and you're saying, hey, I want an annuity, guess what? They're going to be offering you the annuity only of that insurance company. When you go to an independent agency, they're not going to be biased, or at least majority of them are not going to be biased because they could give you a whole plethora of options. Rather than the 3 options that a captive agency could give you, an independent agency could typically give you over 1,000 different options. So why would you be cutting yourself short, if you understand that, okay, I have a gap in income for retirement, I want to make sure that I'm sufficing that gap, and I think that an annuity might be right for my situation. I understand that concept of it, but now what is the best type of contract? What's the best type of annuity contract out there? And that's something that we try to do, is educate you guys first and foremost. Understand, if you're going, you're placing any dollar amount into an annuity, you should really understand it. Don't just go and trust the agent because he's trying to talk over you or bully you into a type of annuity program, annuity plan. Because there's many times that people call over to my office and they say, hey, listen, I got set up into an annuity contract a few years